This is actually the same race, just with power. It was one of the last bigger races that I took him to for a while. And this is one of my very first pro rodeos, actually. So back in 2016, this was my first year really pro rodeoing, and Legacy's first year that we really kind of took off. I think that horses have been ingrained into me. They're in my blood. I don't know why or how or where. You know, my mom had a horse when she was younger, but she didn't get to compete. But I just feel like it's been in my blood. It's just what I've always wanted to do. I mean, it didn't take, you know, the first time to get on a horse to decide that's what I wanted to be. It was, I've always loved them. And I feel like anytime I've been around them, you feel the most at home, or you feel like you are yourself. So I think it's always been like that. I'd stopped in Rollins, Wyoming at a gas station. When I got back in my truck, I decided to not put my seatbelt on. I'd had a stomachache all morning, so I thought I'm gonna leave it off just for a minute. Less than 10 miles down the road, when I was going through Sinclair, Wyoming, I looked down to check my map. When I looked up, I'd faded over a lane and was heading towards the metal beam on the side of the road. I grabbed my wheel to correct my truck, and it sent me sliding across the highway. We resulted in rolling, where my truck rolled at 75 miles an hour. I was ejected out of my window at 70 miles an hour, hit a fence post on the side of the road, where I folded around it, broke it off, and carried it another 20 feet. So I would say that was January 10th, 2010. My life completely changed. My sister was 8 years old when I got into my accident. She's been my best friend from the beginning. You know, I was a 16-year-old kid that would bring your 6-year-old little sister. That's what we did. We rode horses. And overnight, my little sister had to go from the little sister to the big sister. And that was incredibly hard.
Like, I wouldn't get on a horse until she would get on a horse because I didn't want to do it without her. So I started it with her. When she was getting better in like the hospital, I wouldn't even look at my horses. I wouldn't come down here, even though I loved it. But since she couldn't do it, I wasn't gonna do that to her. So I waited. I waited till we could do it together, because that was a team thing. We shared it, so.
Of course it's upsetting when somebody tells you you can't do something, and you trust doctors to know what they know. You trust them to have seen things in the past. But I think that my doctors learned very quickly that I really would accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. My motivation isn't to prove doctors wrong. My motivation isn't to try to show someone I'm capable of. My motivation is I love it, and if you love something enough, you don't give it up. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and so those people even coming across my story, or, you know, something that I said in a post, you know, it might have been for them that day. It's not just me, it's every person that exists. Somebody is waking up because of you. Somebody is living through their day because of you. It doesn't matter who you are, but I guarantee there's at least one person that relies on you. And if you think about that, I feel like you can gather the strength to handle what you're going through. I'm Amberley Snyder. I live in Tremont, Utah, and I'm a barrel racer and a keynote speaker.